and the apology now from the environmentalists. I mean, you and I have talked about this, and at the end of the day, we've demonised coal-fired power, yet we've got hundreds and hundreds of coal-fired power plants being built around the world, high energy, high efficiency, low energy, low carbon dioxide emission plants are being built in Southeast Asia. We've just got Matt Canavan has joined us from Rockhampton. Matt, thank you for coming in on all of this. We've seen the apology from these environmentalists. What's happening in Canberra? We're still going to export 80% of our coal so that Asia and everyone else can have cheap electricity, and we'll demonise it here.
Well, Alan, welcome back. Great to be on your show. I'm trying as hard as I can to make sure we do keep some of our energy resources here to create jobs here. That's what I think we should do. I'm not against us exporting some of our wealth. We've got so much of it, so abundant, that we can create jobs doing that. But if it's good enough for the Chinese to use, good enough for Koreans to use, good enough for the Japanese to use, why isn't it good enough for Australians to use too? The coal doesn't become clean on a boat. It doesn't become magically lower in carbon emissions as it transports thousands of kilometres over the sea. It's the same coal burnt over there as here, and we should be using more of it to create jobs here. Now, in a week where I fully support our country putting aside more money to defend ourselves, given the changed strategic environment we are in, you'd think we'd also look at making sure we secure our energy supplies as well. Yeah. So we don't have reliable energy.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying to both of you...
If someone wants to invade us in the future, they just need a weather forecast. When it's cloudy, we'll be pretty vulnerable.
That's dead right. Just to both of you, 1,600 coal-fired power plants in 62 countries around the world being constructed. Matt, how many here?
At this stage, none, Alan, none. A couple of weeks ago, Germany opened a coal-fired power station. You know, we all hear this rubbish. Indeed, today, the German government again passed a law saying they're going to phase out coal. Well, a couple of weeks ago, they actually opened one. They commissioned a new brown coal-fired power station in Germany.
Yeah,
and these useful idiots among ourselves, otherwise known as Greens, often take the propaganda of other countries as gospel, rather than looking into what they're actually doing.
And the other thing to note...
often say, yeah, we'll walk away from coal, and then they go and build them anyway.
But, Matt, the other thing to know, Mark, come in on this, I mean, our banks. Now, 3 of our major banks have said they won't invest in anything related to fossil fuels. They won't invest. So that it doesn't bother foreign banks. The foreign banks have walked in and they are prepared to invest in coal-fired power plants around the world. The people who lose out are the people watching us here tonight. Dearer energy and an absence of it, and manufacturing being exported overseas.
Well, it's unthinkable in a recession that you wouldn't be building more coal-fired power stations like the rest of the world. In fact, the only thing that's happening with coal-fired power in Australia is closing them down. They're systematically being closed down. And Alan, this is the big strategic question for our economy. How do we recover from this recession? We can't outcompete Asia on wages. Our skills base and the results we're getting out of the school system can't be turned around for decades, logically. The immediate smart thing we could do is become a global energy superpower with flourishing coal, nuclear, gas, renewables, if they could carry their weight without these massive subsidies. And that should be Australia's international strategic advantage. Reliable power, cheap power, manufacturing jobs. Now, you know, that's got to be the announcement out of Canberra.
Dead right. Matt, thank you for your time. We'll come back to you and thank you for talking sense, Matt Canavan. You're the hope of the side, my friend. Keep well up there in your poon. There he is.
Will do, Alan. Good luck.
You've got a couple of good rugby league players out of your poon, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah, but none of them play for the Broncos, unfortunately. We've got to turn that around.
Well done.